Randy Sutton is a former law enforcement officer who served with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for almost 24 years. He joins us from Las Vegas this morning. Randy, can you tell us how hotels coordinate with police in Las Vegas?
Yeah, there's a very, very close synergy that takes place between hotel security and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. They work very closely together because the problems that take place in the casinos are generally handled by their internal security, but anytime that there is a law enforcement issue, they then contact Metro. So there is a very close relationship between the security apparatus and Metro.
And do they coordinate, do they perform drills together?
There are times when they do work together when they do like rehearsals for certain types of evacuations, and each year there are events that take place where there's a close coordination. For instance, New Year's Eve, where we close the Strip down, and then there's coordination like that as well. But keep in mind that many of these security personnel are no longer armed, that there's been a movement over the last 20 years to disarm most of the security people, so that there are some armed, most are not, though.
We know that this shooter, Randy, was on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel.
Right.
Is this something that your
Yes.
department would have ever prepared for, a shooter up above the crowd?
Yes. Well, when I say yes, these type of events are planned for. I mean, you can only do so much, but this is not this is totally within the realm of contingency planning. Now, the way the shooter was identified was not from the muzzle flashes, but the smoke detector in the room went off from the amount of smoke that came from firing that fully automatic weapon. That's how they were able to close in on him so quickly.
And Randy, when you talk about first responders, you're not only just talking about law enforcement. Of course, there's medical first responders as well. Are the hospitals there in the surrounding area equipped for such a mass casualty shooting? And obviously, that's where the focus is right now, on all of those 200+ victims who are still critically injured and are being treated at the local hospitals.
Right, and the University Medical Center is the normal trauma center where gunshot victims are taken. That UMC was overwhelmed immediately with the number of casualties. So, and then keep this in mind, that many of these injured were taken by civilians, that there simply weren't enough ambulances to get there in time. So they were taken by civilians to area hospitals literally all over the valley. Now, this shooting went on for somewhere in the area of 15-20 minutes. So that interfered with getting the first responders in to the area, because this individual planned this horrific shooting immaculately. I mean, when you look at what his field of fire was, the way that he prepared himself by having multiple firearms, by having the ability to have enough ammunition to rain down hell on those poor, innocent people that were doing nothing except enjoying themselves.
I know.
He chose his target well.
And then, Randy, to go and reload the way he did. But I'm very interested in what you said about muzzle flashes, that it wasn't the muzzle flashes that drew police to the room, that it was the smoke detectors that went off in the room. What does that tell you about the amount and the kind of firepower that this gentleman had in his hotel room?
Well, when you fire even 4 or 5 rounds from a weapon like that, just 4 or 5 rounds, that would generate a fairly high amount of smoke. But when you talk about the number of rounds that he fired, I mean, literally hundreds of rounds, he must have prepared with having multiple magazines loaded and ready to reload. Probably also he had more than one firearm from my understanding. So all he had to do was drop it, pick up another one, and continue his murderous assault on those people.
Randy, what kind of distance are we talking about between the hotel room where he was firing from and the crowd below?
I'm going to estimate about 400 yards, and that would be within the killing range of that weapon that he was using, which is clearly either a true assault weapon or it was a weapon that was modified to become fully automatic. I don't know how this individual would have obtained a fully automatic or a number of fully automatic weapons, as they are heavily regulated.
Yeah.
But
that was my next question to you. That was my question to you about the gun laws. As a law enforcement officer, is it easy to get this kind of weaponry in Las Vegas? Can anybody just walk in a store and buy this?
No, absolutely not. But I don't know if these weapons that he had were originally designed as fully automatic or if they were modified. You see, if you have the skill level, and certain people do, you can obtain a kit which can take a semi-automatic rifle and make it into a fully automatic rifle. So I'm not, that's what this investigation, they're going to have the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms part as part of this investigation. They're already involved with the FBI. Metro will be handling the majority of this investigation, but they will have to, the ATF will be examining those firearms that will have been seized to determine what if they were originally designed as fully automatic. They have the ability to track those firearms literally back to where they were manufactured. Now, were they stolen? Were they modified? Did he obtain them legally? All these are part of the overall investigation. These are questions that really have to be answered.
All right, Randy Sutton, stand by if you would. Appreciate your time so far. We don't have the answers to those questions right now.